now here at looking at the game Moonshine, and with me is
Maxim. I'm the UI designer on the team that makes the game on Clabater.
Great. So what kind of game is this?
So it's a tycoon about moonshining. So it's the art of making alcohol homemade, I will say. So it's quite illegal in certain countries to make that way. So the purpose of the game is to make it as like without police to get caught by the police. So that's the idea.
Okay, then let's jump into the game and see what we have to do.
Moonshining Inc., the game, is all about the production of moonshining in a realistic way. So we have this simulation base for the game with a tycoon feature to make it more enjoyable, more gamification, you know. So we have a little story about with our character here. It's a little narration to make it more fun for the player. And the story is based on a linear process, and we will go from the chapter 1 to the chapter 5. And let's go for the chapter 1 for now. So I will skip the tutorial. And here we are. We are in the base. The first base, it's in the forest. And as you can see, we have nothing now, but we will install everything to do a proper moonshine. So at first, the moonshine is all about the ingredients you have. So I will go to the map. We have the map here that's where we can find the base, the store when we buy ingredients, and the different hotspots where we sell our products. Products that need to be sold quietly because police follow us. So let's go to the store. Here we can see the different ingredients you can buy. For now there is not a lot because we are at the beginning of the game, so it's very basic sugar based. So let's take some of them to try. I will add it on my shopping cart and ready to buy. The second part of the game is to install the apparatuses to make alcohol. So,
but it's not yet anyhow suspicious if you're buying that amount of sugar.
Yeah, it's true that it can be suspicious, and we have a feature like this. Sometimes the cops can follow some ingredients, and so we need to be careful with that. If police see that we buy a lot of sugar, they will follow the product and find our base. But it will come later in the game because for now it's easy to play. So I play the fermentation tank that is very basic on plastic, etc. And here is the distillation apparatuses. So in fermentation is the first step of the process. It's here that we transform sugar into alcohol thanks to the yeast. And after the distillation, we'll evaporate all the water and just keep the ethanol. So to do this, we need to recruit some workers here. So this is the most tycoon part, you know, manage your team, etc. So each worker have some specialization. Here are pretty trainee worker, and they have some traits. Depending of the traits, it will influence the salary of the different worker. So we can try to negotiate their salary by adding some signing bonus and things like this. So this one accept. This one have bad traits, you know, is lazy and back pain. So it's cheaper. So let's try to reduce his salary. He tried to negotiate with me, and he accepts finally. So,
but you always have 3 tries, so you're on the first one you can really push it.
Yeah, totally. I have 3 tries, and in the end, if we don't find an agreement, he said, I will leave the conversation. It's not interesting. So we will go to the heart of the system we've made to create alcohol. So it's here. It looks like a blueprint when we will set up all the different parts of the process we create. So at first we'll need to add ingredients. Each ingredient have some flavor. we have 5 flavors in the game: sweet, bitter, sour, salty, and acrid. And when we have some flavor, we can see that it creates a shape. So here it's a Barbados, so it's only acrid. But when I add another one, the shape is changing. Why we want to create a shape? Because each recipe in the game have a different shape, a unique shape, and we need to try to match this shape to be able to make a recipe, a proper recipe. So I add fermentation tank, distillation tank, and when I add the yeast, we will see the different match or not with different recipes that are close to this. So here I have a match with an unknown recipe. We can see I have several other propositions. So rot gut, it's a recipe that I already know. So I will try to make this one. And as you can see, I have only 71% of match. And by changing the proportion of ingredient, it will change the shape of the flavor, as you can see. So I will try to make 100%, it's possible, if I'm precise, and here we go. So
do you need to know a lot about distillation to be able to play the game?
Not at all, because we try to make a game very easy to use and hard to master, but the beginning are very easy to understand, because it just you just have to fit some shape, and we try to make it very user-friendly. So the better you have a match, the better the quality will be, because the main objective of making alcohol is to make the best quality alcohol. So I will create this batch, and now as you can see, I have a worker that his objective is to take care of this batch, and we can start to set up the fermentation. Here's the fermentation window. It looks like a lot of information, but that's not that hard, because here we have the resume of what we put into the fermentation. So we have the 2 sugars that we add, and we call it the mash. We add water and yeast. Why water and yeast? So yeast will, I will say, it will eat the sugar and transform it into ethanol. But yeast is a living form, so it needs to be preserved by the sugar. Too much sugar will kill the yeast. So as you can see here, I have too much sugar. 37% is too much for this type of yeast. So I need to add water to dilute the sugar. So I think this yeast, support 24% is quite of great, because as you can see, I can have at the end of this process 40% of ethanol.
And you want to have, do you want to have a specific amount of ethanol, or do you want to just as much as you can?
I want to have at the end of the process a specific amount. Like rot gut required between 29 and 31% of ethanol to have a perfect match of better quality. But for now, it's not what we focus, because it's the first step, and after the distillation, we will be close to that point. So for now, we will try to have the most ethanol possible. And here we have the fermentation timeline. It's the time that the process will take. So if we keep at the maximum, it will take 2 days and 10 hours, because fermentation is very long. But as you can see on the graph, basically all the sugar is already consumed and transformed into ethanol at this point. So I can reduce here and keep the same percentage of ethanol. And I will start. So now I will speed up a little the game. We will see our employee tries to find the ingredients and bring it to the fermentation tank. And then the process will start. By the other time, I will show you something else during the process, because sometimes it can be a little long. So here we have the workshop where we can manage all our different apparatus we place in the base. So each apparatus has durability. When we don't take care of your apparatus, if you don't repair them, they will break. So we don't want that, so we need to take care of them. And cleanliness, because after each use of apparatus, they get a little dirty. And if we want to keep a good quality, we need to clean it each time they use.
So maybe our customers get sick if it's not clean enough?
For now, we don't have sickness for the employees, but for sure they will not pay a lot for your alcohol if you have a dirty thing inside. And here we have the crafting tab. So here we can craft every of the apparatus depending of the technology tree that we unlock. And so yes, as you can see, we have several different apparatus. People that know Moonshine will recognize some of them, I guess. And different apparatus have different stats and different efficiency during the process. So now I think I will create some fermentation tank and distillation after this, because the building can be upgraded. More it will upgrade, more creation I can do at the same time. For now we have only one slot, but later I can have like 3 slots and make 3 reparation, cleanless and craft at the same time. Oh, perfect. So the fermentation is over here. So we can jump to the second part, is distillation. It's here that we will boil up all the mash we create in the fermentation and get rid of the water inside to just keep the ethanol. Here, as you can see, we have a plan of how it's work, the different states of the timeline. And the objective is to try to fit the road good ethanol requirements. So here we see the ethanol percentage. We can, more long the process will be, less ethanol there will be inside because the water will stay inside. So we try to reach 31%. I think it will be okay. And to keep the quality high, we need to have quite long process, because we can make it faster by increase the flame rate, but as you can see it will be like a huge decrease of quality because all the different cuts will be mixed up. I didn't explain the cuts because it's very specific things in Moonshine, you know, because depending of the moment you start, you take the product, it will change the quantity of ethanol and the taste of it. So, for example, at the beginning we have the foreshot, and this is not very good part because it's contains methanol and it's toxic. So we don't want the first part. But after we have the head, what we call the head, and it's a part that is very high in ethanol, but not very flavor, you know. And the earth is the part that is the best balance. And at the end you have the tail, that is have the best flavor but less ethanol. So for now we don't have the technology to do this. We just have to choose the end of the process.
So you just throw away the first ones?
Yeah, everything that is not in the earth will be thrown away. So let's go. So same, the process of distillation is a little long, less long than the fermentation. It's already starts, you see. And during this time, I will install the other apparatus I just create. So because at first we have one batch, but later in the game we will need to manage several batches at the same time. It will be a huge production system because it's a tycoon and we need to have the maximum money at the end.
So I think I can see how this is transforming in a huge industry.
Exactly, and we are limited by the size of the base, etc. And we need to not full crowd the different selling point because we will have the attention of the police. So I will talk just after about it, but it's all balancing between production and police, etc.
And how do you sell your products?
I will show you just after when we finish the first product. For now, we just have to wait the end of the distillation. We have, of course, some main mission with narration, etc. For now, they just asked to produce 100 liters of moonshine. It's the beginning of the game, so it's a basic one. And further in time, it will be like a more. You will have a crisis mission that will ask to do things in a few times. So you need to be fast and take decision about the quality and the quantity of your moonshine. So,
what was the idea? How did you come up with this game?
About Moonshine, it come up, I guess, it come out from the documentary series into National Geographic, I guess. It's called Moonshine 2, and it's just following the life of a moonshiner in USA, and this is where it comes from. The idea. One of our boss love moonshine itself, so I think it's come from the love of moonshining. And it was pretty difficult for us as a developer because before I didn't know about Moonshine. And to make a game that is enjoyable to play and not only for the little niche that is moonshiners was quite difficult, and we got a lot of iteration during the process to find a good balance between gameplay and accuracy of the Moonshine.
So is this actually now playing during the period of prohibition in the US, or is it now?
Is it a modern time? So it's now. We don't made a history game for now. So now the last part of the creating a Moonshine, it's to bottling. So here the Moonshine blending, we don't have it for now because as I said before, we don't have the technology. But further in time you could add or not add the tail and add the different cuts of the product. But we can dilute with water. If we have, for example, have too much of ethanol in our product and it not fits the requirement, we can add water to dilute it. And we can do the same with spirits to make it to make the fortification. For now, we don't have the tech, but we don't need because I already managed to have the good proportion of ethanol inside the recipe. So the recipe is great and happy. And
so do people actually always want to have things matching certain recipes, or can you like make up your own?
You can do whatever you want. Just the recipe is depending of the quality. If you don't match the ethanol, you will not have the best quality for this type of recipe. And the last thing, and the most important, is the selling price. So depending of the price, the selling speed will decrease or increase. So if I'm greedy and I say I have a lot of time, I can make the maximum profit, but it will take a long time to sell. And if I need very fast money, I can sell at the lowest price, and it will go very fast. So yeah.
And we can make up our own name.
Yeah, I can change the name, of course. So I can, of course, name it GamesCom, for example. So it's a little signature, of the product we made. So here we have in the inventory, and our product is here. We have 76 liters of cheaper goods. That's name is GamesCom. We have 39% of quality. It's not bad, but it's not the best. But for the beginning, it's quite good. So now we can save the product. So we go back to the map. We choose a worker, we choose a car that have different statistics, the speed and the capacity. For now we have an old car like in the 51 years, and we add the cargo. And now we can choose different area where to deliver it. So let's deliver Old Shack. I think it's good.
What's the difference?
The difference is when first there is some event on the road. It can be malus or bonus. We don't know. So if you want to avoid it, maybe go to another area. Can be good, etc. And also the stash is sometime. I will show you just after. So here is the stash. We have an event. So what happened here? Unhappy client. So a client stop us and ask money, or he will call the police. So what we are going to do is, I pay it. I don't want problem. So let's pay for it. So here the delivery will come to the stash, and you can see here the sale rate, the product we have, and the price. And we have all statistics about customers that come, liter you sold, and the revenue. And you have also the alert level. The alert level is like if the police have interest in this area. So more is hide, more you will have good bonuses. You can sell, you will have more customers, etc. But if you reach the last stage, you will have the police alert that will rise from 1. And you don't want that, because it will mean that your stash will be red and you will lose all your customers and all your storage.
And how do I get rid of the alert level again?
You have two possibilities. It's doing nothing, waiting, you know. This is why sometimes you need to change the stash to get forgot an area. So, or maybe sometimes there is some side missions that give you some give you the possibility to lower the alert level.
Okay, so unfortunately we need to get to an end, because we have reached the end of time for the slot. Nevertheless, very interesting. Oh, okay, technology tree, is that something you want to show us? Yeah, okay, we are looking at this again.
So just the technology tree, because it will show you all the possibilities in the game. So we will have a lot of different ingredients unlockable, a lot of different apparatuses and technology. And it will be all the meaning of the game. And finally, the recipe map I want to show, because we have several recipes here, and you can unlock all the different recipes by discovered thanks to the quality, all the map, and reveal the map and unlock everything. And that's it.
So there's quite a lot to do in this game, and yeah, a lot of management involved. But I don't think that you should take the message from it that if you just play the game, then you are perfectly qualified to brew your own alcohol. Probably it's a little bit more difficult than that. Yeah, the niche market of moonshiners who play the game. I'm curious if there are moonshiners out there, and if so, leave a comment on how realistic you think this game actually is. Otherwise, we are of course interested in your opinion anyway, how much you like it. And I would like to say goodbye to you at this point, and thank you very much for your time. My final question is, maybe publish everything we've recorded here publicly on our channels.
Yes. So a last thing to say is what you say? Yeah. So I think you will enjoy the game if you play it, and thanks to you to listen to me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.